Hi everyone, and welcome to Learn with Sawgrass. I'm Rhonda, the Education Manager here at Sawgrass, and our goal with all of our workshops is to help succeed with Sawgrass. We're going to tell you about our printers, about our inks. We're going to talk a little bit about the Sawgrass difference, and then hopefully give you some inspiration and also some tips to help build your business. So please join us every Wednesday afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern on YouTube to join us live. And then we're also going to be uploading this towards the end of each week. We'll have a second workshop that we upload as well. This is one of those. This is one of our uploaded workshops that we're doing, and please know that you can comment. We will respond to anything that you put there, so please check us out. That's the Learn with Sawgrass playlist right here in the Sawgrass Academy on YouTube. So today we are going to talk about the MySawgrass store. So if you are in the US, you do have a store available for you within MySawgrass. It is free. And we're going to take a tour today of not only how you're going to add items to your store, how you're going to manage items in your store, but also how to produce those orders as well. And so hopefully this is going to give you some tips and tricks and a little bit of a walkthrough on exactly how to do that process. I think that this is a great addition to any business, whether you're already selling online or whether you're looking at a way to get started with selling online. I think social selling with the MySawgrass store is a great place to start. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So we're going to access MySawgrass, which is your design tool. And the easiest way to get there is from sawgrassinc.com. And I'm going to go ahead and jump in. Now, if you do not know this, every Sawgrass user has a MySawgrass account. They have access to the design tool. I know a lot of you are either purchasing artwork or designing elsewhere, but this does exist. If you are in the US, and it is only the US right now, you do also have your Sawgrass store. Now, just as a reminder, before we jump in too far, you only use the store if you want to use the store. If you're not adding stuff to it, there's nothing in there. And even if there was, there is no feed. This is social selling. You are the one sharing it. So please don't worry about other people seeing your artwork. This is the same account that you sign into the Sawgrass print utility with. And actually, if I were to click on my name and go to my profile, you're going to see that there are two options. The first is going to be my studio. My studio is where I drop those things that I just hit the save button on, and then anything that I add to my store is going to be here in my store for everyone to see. Now let's go ahead and add a new item to my store. So we are going to hit design. I'm going to add a 15-ounce mug today. That's going to open for me, and I will go ahead and go to my designs because I do want a piece out of a design. So I'm going to go ahead and search for that. It is this playing card. Now I don't need this pink behind it, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. I'm going to take this, move this over. I'm going to take this. I am going to grab this artwork and move it over. I'm going to center it on both sides of my mug, so I'm going to center it right with those green lines. And then I'm actually going to take this top text and change that. Perfect. I'm going to spell it correctly now. All right, we're going to spell that correctly. And there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the bottom before I move this around any. This is a great way to use the MySawgrass designs that we do have I just took a design that already existed, took a piece out of it that I really loved, and then completely changed it by changing the words that go above and below it. I'm going to go ahead and resize this to make it bigger. And that's perfect. Now I'm going to make this a little off center. Don't want to offend you there, but it's just going to be easier to see without having to move it completely below. And then I'm just going to highlight everything with my mouse, duplicate that, and line that up on the other side. Okay. I'm now going to click on my preview to make sure that's exactly where I want it to be. And it is. Looks great. Actually, I need to move. I think it's this one down just a tad. And I think that fixes the problem. Nope, it's the other one. We're going to slide this down just a couple of scooches so that that's not cut off at the top. Great way to check that and make sure that it looks good. All right, now I am going to hit my save and print. And this is going to take this over to my product detail page. Now I do have to give it a name and put it in a category. This is so where it is going to be located in my gallery. I'm going to give it a name, and we are set and ready to go. So that is going to go ahead and open up in our product detail page. Okay, now once this is open, if I were not adding this to my store, I would still need to give it a description, and then I'm just going to hit the save button. But all of this other is available to me so that I can add it to my store. Now to add it to your store, it does need to be one of the products. So we couldn't do this with a custom canvas. You wouldn't see these options. These are just for products that already exist to do this. So you do have to choose a product. I will go ahead and add a description. And this is a 15-ounce ceramic mug featuring a okay. You could definitely add a little more detail here. This is a good place to use the internet, to use AI to kind of help you generate a great description for this particular product. But you want to add a description that's going to help make this sell. So something like 15-ounce ceramic mug featuring a caffeine queen design that'll appeal to the coffee lovers in your life, or something like that. So that would be a good description to use. Now there are tags here. These are auto-generated. You don't have to worry about adding any more. We do have those basics in there. And then the next section you're going to see is setting your price. Now let's talk about this. So the first thing you're going to notice is that you are seeing the total price that the person would be paying before shipping and tax. And then you are seeing both the seller share and the producer share. Now the way we have this set up is that if you are adding it to your store and someone purchases it from your store, then you get the order. So you are both the seller and the producer. Now, of course, we've built it so if one day we want to change that, so there are people who are selling that don't have printers, we can always do that. And then we'll have a network of producers to take that order, and you're only getting the producer share or the seller share. But for now, you are both. You are getting both the seller share and the producer share on this. Now, of course, there is a gap between these two amounts and the price. This is the only place where Sawgrass makes money on the store. There is no charge to have a store. There is no charge for adding products to your store. The only time we make money is if we actually help you with the sales part, and then that is where we get paid. Just so you know that part of it. Now, you are noticing that there is a minimum price. We've calculated this minimum price based on comparison to other places that sell these products. So we looked at what people are paying for a 15-ounce mug on the internet where they're purchasing online. And then we also calculated what your cost would be. So the cost of the blank, the cost of the ink and the paper, the cost of your time to make the mug. We also have figured in the packaging materials. Now, of course, as the producer, you are not actually having to charge the buyer for the shipping. We take care of all of that. But you are having to put it in there and then put that shipping label on there. And because of that, we want to make sure that you as the producer is compensated. So that's why the minimum price is set where it is. Now, can you adjust the minimum, or can you adjust the price? Yes. So if this were my artwork, if this is my Queen of Hearts card that I had designed myself, then I probably would charge more for my own personal artwork. I would raise that value because no one else is going to have what I drew or what I created. So I would probably raise the price on this. I'm a hobbyist as far as photography goes. If I was using my photography, another spot where I'd probably raise my price. If this was something that I thought would be extremely popular where I was, again, if this was something that was extremely trendy, again, another spot where I'd probably raise the price a little bit. Now you notice that as I raise the price, the only person who's getting the extra money is the seller. Because since it is your store, since it is why you're choosing to charge more, you're the one who's getting that extra money. Now, you all know, we talk about this all the time. The beauty of using a Sawgrass system is personalization. Everything needs to be personalized. And that doesn't stop just because someone is buying this online. So you can choose whether this is customizable. Now this is very important. If it is a situation where you feel that you want this to sell exactly like it is, again, probably your own artwork, that's fine. You do not have to choose customizable, but I'm going to choose customizable and I'm going to go over here. Now, the wonderful thing about our system is you actually choose how much can be customized. So every single feature of this, do you want them to be able to change colors? Do you want them to be able to resize it? Do you want them to be able to move it? These are all things that you get to choose and you are in control of. I probably, on most of this, I would lock the design and I would just lock it and then allow them to change the words or the color of the words or the font of the words. But the beauty of this is you as the seller are in complete control, and I really love that. So you can make any changes that you want to make before you go back up and hit save, and it's going to save those changes. Now the only other thing I need to do is I just need to hit post for sale, and now this is going to add this to my store. Okay, there is a bar at the top. It is moving, so we know exactly how long this is taking and how much further it has to go. So we'll just watch our bar as this goes towards post for sale. All right, so that is now in my store. I'm going to click here on my store, and I can see that that has been added at the price that we designated. Now let's talk a little bit about your storefront. You have control over your profile picture. You have control over your background image. So anyone that you share your store with is going to see your layout. Now, how this is laid out is it is laid out from newest to oldest. So if I add another product, it's going to move everything down. Now what I can do is, let's say I have added both my Mike mug and my Megan mug. So what I can do is I can click on the Megan mug and manage post details. Managing post details is going to take it back to that screen. Of course, if I needed to adjust a product name, if I wanted to, for seasonal reasons, change my description, I could do this here. But I'm going to remove this from my store by hitting the Save button. And by hitting the Save button, this is going to move it to my studio and take it out of my store. Now, of course, if down the line I wanted to add it back in, easy, same thing. I'm just going to manage or take it back to my product detail page, get to my product detail page, and now I hit post for sale. So it's really easy to move things back and forth using that method. And we're just going to watch that bar as that finishes up. Okay. So now that's going to come here. It's going to be over here in my studio, and I'm going to go back to my store. And that is now gone. So that's how you can easily move things around just by clicking your three dots, and you can manage post details. And then by managing post details, I can either change names or descriptions or prices, or even how customizable something is. And then I can also remove it from my store. So I can do all of those things by managing post details. Now, if I needed to make a change to something, I can always click here and go to Open in Designer. That's going to take it all the way back to the designer, and I can make any changes that I need to make there. All right, so let's talk about sharing products. There's two ways, well, there's multiple ways to do this, but you can either share your entire store, or you can share individual products. So to share my store, you'll see that I can either share immediately to Facebook or Pinterest or the X platform, or I can copy this, and now I have that to use on Instagram, YouTube, or anywhere else. I can also go to an individual product. I can hit this little share icon, and then by going to my share icon, I can share on Facebook, X, Pinterest, go straight into my email, or I can just copy that link to use at other places. Now let's look at how this appears for someone who's looking to purchase. So here is my mug of the state of South Carolina. If I were to go here and copy this. Okay, so we've copied that link just by going to that share icon, and I hit copy. Now, let's say I give this link to my cousin Sharon, and Sharon goes into her system and pastes that into a browser. And what's going to happen is this is how she's going to see it. Now, as you know, as a Sawgrass user, we do encourage you to be on a desktop computer. That doesn't have to happen when you're purchasing. We have designed this so that you could easily do this on a cell phone. All you have to do is send cousin Sharon the link, and she can just go in, click on customize, and then make changes. Now, if this were something that wasn't customizable, this would not exist. It would just say add to cart. But Sharon is going to hit customize, and you're going to notice that her screen looks different. So in her screen, all she has to do is go in, and anything she wants to change, she's going to hit the edit button. Now this and this are both the word home. So if she wanted to change that, let's say there's some weather or something going on and she wants to do South Carolina strong, she can do that. And because I'm allowing her to, she could even change the font on that. So she can change anything I allow her to change. And with this image, she could actually change what goes into the South Carolina simply by hitting this upload button. And that's going to pull up a screen so that she can simply add that in. And once she has done that, all she has to do is hit add to cart. And now she can complete her purchase. And she has it in her cart. She can go ahead and check out and do everything she needs to do to purchase this mug. And it's as simple as that. That's all you have to do is share those links with anyone, and now they're able to go in and purchase things from your store and still customize them. So something like I saw and I contoured, easy to change the date, change a name, change anything there. So this allows you to be able to sell online and to be able to simply do this by however you communicate with your customers. You're able to share these links. So you can put them into emails, you are able to put them into your social channels and show them what's for sale. So we've talked about it quite a bit as you kind of go through seasonal changes, prepare for holidays, check out our new products. They're going to be right at the top. So you're able to easily go in and share that and let them see anything they need to see and hopefully buy quite a bit. One of the questions that we get asked quite a bit when we talk about the MySawgrass store is, how does this work for you as a producer? So first of all, whatever email you have that is tied to your account, you're going to get an email, and it's simply going to say that you have a new order. Now, is that the only way you can tell if you have an order? No. If I click on my name and I go down to production, it's going to move me into our production workflow. And the first thing you're going to see is your inbound orders. So this is any order that has come in that I haven't started on yet. So this first one is a mug. I'm going to go ahead and accept it. Now, why would you deny it? You would deny it if you didn't have the product and you couldn't produce this in a reasonable amount of time. But for the most part, you should only be taking items where you have the equipment and you have the products on hand. So there really shouldn't be a reason why you don't hit accept. But I'm going to hit accept, and that is going to move into my orders. Now I have 2 other mugs as well. We're going to move 1 through, so we're going to just leave these. Actually, let's go ahead and accept them. So I'm going to accept all of my products. And this is now, I'm going to click on my orders, and this is going to be in production. So they're not in production yet. They are actually accepted. If I look at my orders, I'm able to see every order I've ever touched. So all of them are here, but where I really need to be is I kind of think of it as moving it from step to step to step. So I'm going to start with accepted. Now, first of all, you notice there is a print button. I'm not going into my store. I'm not pulling it up from there. I am pulling up my order from here because remember, a lot of times these are being changed or personalized. So this isn't going to be the same file that you already have in MySawgrass. So you do want to come in and go to this print button. So I'm going to hit print. It's going to open up my Sawgrass print utility just like it normally does. It's going to download that artwork. And now I am ready to print. So I can go in, I'll do all my settings as I normally would to do a ceramic mug, and I'm ready and set to go. Now, once I've done that, I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna mark that as production complete. Now, once I have marked that as production complete, it moves over to shipping labels. So I have 2 orders that I have accepted that I haven't printed yet. I have nothing in production, and I have 1 that needs a shipping label. So I'm going to hit print label. It's going to pull up that shipping label for me, and I will go ahead and print that out and get my order ready for shipping. So once I have done that, I'm going to mark that as shipped, which means I have done everything. I have printed it, I have printed my label, I have put it in my box, all of the special things I'm going to do to ship a mug, I have taped it, I have put my shipping label on it, and most importantly, I have dropped it off at the post office, and now I can mark that as shipped. And once I have marked that as shipped, now that is going to go to my dispatched orders, and it's ready for me to be paid for this. So I have moved this all the way through the process. It is completely done, and it is being sent out to my customer. Now, if I go to my dashboard, and that is under my name in the top right corner, you can see all my orders that are shipped. Now, this is not my real orders. Yes, I haven't been paid. It's okay. None of these orders actually exist. But all of this would be documented here for you in your dashboard. So you can see every order that you have produced and everything in one place, which is awesome. Now, a couple other things just to show you. You need to make sure when you get started that you go to your account settings. Now make sure all of your information is correct. And then you're going to go to billing and payment. You need to make sure that your address, well, we'll show you addresses in a minute, but you need to connect your PayPal. We do pay through PayPal, so you do need to do this. Now, we will not pay individually. We do pay on the 1st and 3rd Tuesdays of each month. So you need to make sure that you're kind of looking for that on those days. And then make sure that your addresses are in here. Now, there is a billing address and a production address. So if you are not physically making and shipping from the same place that you have billing, then you need to mark that. Why is that important? Taxes and calculating shipping. So make sure that your actual production address is in there. And that's kind of the basic things. Now I am turned on for production. So you do see that is green. So that's how they know that that is there. In my settings, there are some other things you can do. Basically, you're saying that you're available and that you're able to do production. Now, the big difference here is, again, I said this earlier, there could come a time where not everyone can self-fulfill. They can't do their own orders. So that would not be checked. And then availability means if, like, last week I was out of the state, I couldn't accept orders. You can actually turn off the availability so we know not to send you any orders when you're not available. Just remember to turn it back on when you are. There are other things you can do, like set your production capabilities and say what items you will be producing. Not really an important part right now, but again, maybe one day if we have producers who aren't the seller, that would be important for us to know. But the big things for you right now in your producer settings, the availability, and then that you have attached your PayPal account so that you can get paid by us are the really big things to worry about. So there are the basics of being a producer. It's really cool. what you sell, what you get into your social selling. Those orders come to you. You can track them. And I really, really love how our orders flow through this system because you can easily see where everything is in the process. And that's it. That's some tips and just kind of a full walkthrough for you on how to use your MySawgrass store to help build your business. I think it's a really great tool for you. I hope you get some use out of it. Please join us again every Wednesday afternoon at 2 p.m. Eastern live on YouTube. And then keep an eye on our Learn with Sawgrass playlist. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get those notifications. And we'll be dropping videos like the one today. Thanks so much, and bye-bye.